Good morning, everyone. I'm pretty sure you guys can hear me. I'll just do a quick check. If you can, just put something in the comments. Real excited. Happy Wednesday. Happy early, I was going to say Thanksgiving, but I mean Halloween. I should know that because a lot of our departments are dressed up today, and we have a big dress up celebration tomorrow as well. We'll give it another minute or so until we get started. I'll just give you guys a little background on a couple different things, what we do here. This is the Q3 CEO Fireside Chat. My number one goal in this is to deliver specifically what we're working on in the future, and then most importantly, what we've worked on for the last quarter. And what I'll do is I'll go through this. For those of you who are, it's your first time, if you have questions, you can go ahead and ask them. We'll save the questions till the end, and we'll answer as many as we can, depending on the time. And if you have a question during it, I think there's a place where you can raise your hand and ask a question. And I have Janae, who runs our entire account management team here. And what she'll do is she might stop me or pause when it's the right appropriate time, and I'll maybe stop and answer that because we're going to go through a few different things. Further, I'll be bringing on at some point Ryan Bishop. A lot of you probably recognize that name. Ryan's been with the company for 8 years. He started out really, I think, just where were you? Sales, support, account management, activation, everything. And now he is running one of the 4 out of our 5th largest projects, which is forms, which we'll talk about today. With that said, I'll just say welcome to Q3 Fireside Chat. We're now in the 4th quarter, and I'm just thinking about the 4th quarter when I was a realtor. It's the best time to reach out. It's the best time to get in front of people. But I remember running a brokerage, the best time for recruiting and retaining was this time. So I know I have a lot of brokers on the line, a lot of folks in the back office as well. The best time to recruit and retain agents is during this time when it's easy to reach out. Everyone's pretty jolly because of the season. And also just as far as recruiting, a lot of people will make moves during the 4th quarter, obviously, so they have a fresh following year. So my encouragement to you is to get out there and recruit, retain, and encourage your agents to go see their clients belly to belly, just because there's so much opportunity right now out there. Rates are historically at a low, inventories, depending on where you're at, but for the majority of us, it's quite low as well. So great seller's market. I know for the other folks in New York, not as great, but with that said, I'll get started. So first, what I want to do is I want to go through our deck here. Our vision is keeping brokers and agents connected to the customer forever. You guys will see next year we'll be very clearly identifying and showing from forms. The first time you meet a client, you write an offer, you shake a hand, all the way till the close of escrow, all the way beyond keeping a client forever, so that your agents, buyers and sellers are bonded for life. Next year, what we'll do is we'll clearly demonstrate the entire life cycle of that and how it plays within our entire ecosystem here at SkySlope. What we've done in the last 90 days is we've hired 30 employees. What that means is you guys are just getting more support. We've hired in every single department. Primarily, a lot of those hires are in engineering and product. That's it's outgrowing all of our other departments, which is not always the case. So we'll continue to grow. We're doing the budget for next year. I see easily adding another several heads to our company, 35 to 55. It's still a little bit early on budgeting, but we'll grow another 35 to 55 easily next year, depending on how we finish up. And I say that because it leads me right into our notable stats. And what we're going to do is for the next quarter, all hands, or the Fireside, we're going to revamp this. We've got a lot of feedback from you guys, and so thank you. This is our first full year of doing this. But what we've done is we've done 55 releases in the 3rd quarter. Just to put that in perspective, we did around 55 as well the following quarter. So we're staying on that release cycle. As you guys know, we release on average, to keep you honest here, Ryan, about every 2 weeks, depending on what product or service. In Q2, we squashed about 122 bugs. You see this quarter, we squashed 67. So anytime you guys see something, and sometimes we don't categorize them as bugs, it's just a small enhancement. But these are system improvements, making things faster. I think we can all, including myself, we can all kind of cheers the development team. We're getting these oops pages quite often, and they've removed those to 99.9%, so they're pretty much gone. So thank you all for who helped us on trying to track that down and get that taken care of. And then the last item is the the boards. We have 235, 40 MLS boards. We added an additional 12. And so this will probably come off of the notable stats for next year when we do our quarter-side, our Q3, our Q4 Fireside chats. Just because we have all the MLSs, it's fully functioning, it's in Sky. If you don't have access to the MLS, contact Janae or your account manager, or go to support and they'll put you in the right hands, and we'll get that taken care of for you. But we'll probably come up with a new statistic board following next year when we do our full year in review Fireside chat. All right, let's get into some of the releases and what we've done. So if you look APIs, I think that's been a theme for the entire year. We have added an additional fully bulk export capability. A lot of you asked for this, so you can pull all the data and do what you want with it, or you want to take all the data and provide it to a third-party provider or vendor of your service. So we just added that in. We know there's a lot of companies that are taking advantage of that. So if you want more information on the APIs, give us a call, call your account manager or support. They're working great. We're also, I'm doing a little side pet project right now with some with the team, and what we're doing is we're figuring out how we can take the APIs and build a really cool analytics dashboard for you. A lot of you guys may or may not have access to somebody who can help you with the APIs or pulling your data out and put it in a way where you could read it and do something with it. And so maybe we'll give you guys a preview of that or send something out through account management sometime this year, but we're working on that right now. It's one of the projects I'm putting some thoughts around of how I would run a brokerage, what are stats I want to look at, how to analyze the data, and that way you guys can do the same with your brokerage. The next thing is a small item, but it's huge for us here at support. And so to give you a little insight, what we do is we look at our support tickets, and we do hundreds of thousands of tickets. As you guys know, we're really well known for support. We pick up the phone call in the second ring. We guarantee a live chat in 10 seconds, an email back in 5 minutes. Otherwise, we send you or your agent a gift card to Starbucks. It's been our model since day one. But one of the biggest things that we get out of support, other than hopefully delighting you and getting you guys the services that you need, is we get to look at what high ticket numbers are, and we get to look at the data, what's working, what's not. And one of the things is for new agents that come on, there could be some confusion with converting a listing to a transaction. And so if you're an admin listening, you've probably seen this all the time. You have an agent who creates a listing, they put it on the market, 25 days later, it converts to a sale, meaning that they've received a bona fide offer, fully executed purchase agreement, and they forget it's in there. So they forget it's in SkySlope, or they don't know how to convert it. So what do? They create a transaction. And now you have two different properties. You don't have accurate data. And what you usually have to do is cancel it and redo it, or you contact support, and we have a merge tool internally where we merge it. And so what we've done is we found a way where we believe that it will help agents better be able to convert those listings to transactions, where we won't have the error, and we can even reduce our support, which is great for us, but also we can just get your agents and you as admins the right data, the right conversion numbers. So we've done that. Another item what we did was great feedback from you folks is I constantly am going to encourage you to go to our support forum, and if you have an idea, put a feature suggestion. We are literally working off of that. We have someone dedicated to looking at those items, upvoting those items, take them to our decision-making process, and then what we're doing is we're implementing those. And so I encourage you guys to go post an idea or thumbs up an idea that really makes sense. Well, one of the challenges that you guys had, or one of the things that came up last quarter was, it makes me log in and create a completely separate login for support to post an idea. So now what we've done was automatically integrated with our support form, where you don't have to sign in. Just sign in to SkySlope, click on the support on the top right section, and go to post an idea, and it will automatically log you in with your credentials into our support form, so you no longer have to do that. And you can post your idea right there, and the emails will come back when people reply, and etc. So thank you guys for the idea. We've implemented it. And I know a lot of you have taken advantage of it already, and you posted ideas, which we're grateful for. A lot of folks are also wanting the archival process. We have some folks who've been with us for over 8-9 years. And depending on which state you're in, you might want to keep those archives for a certain amount of time. But in any case, the list gets pretty long when you've been with us for that amount of time. And so accessing the archives was a slow process. They've obviously improved that. A lot of you have seen that. And so it's just an easier way to access the archives. A big item that was voted on was the commission logging. So as you know, in our transactions under the commission page, there's this additional section where it says additional information for commission. And agents will often put in there, realtors are put in there, you know, hey, I'm paying for a home warranty at $365, or hey, I'm on a team and there's my team split, or I'm paying for the fence that fell down, $1,000 out of my commission. Several different pieces of data that we found in here. And what happens is you save that, and if they update it, it doesn't save anywhere. You don't know what they previously said. And so our thoughts were, okay, we could put this in the log, but then it would just make you go directly to the log and you'll have to search for it. But why don't we actually keep it where you want it? And let's put a log portion of the commission within the commission section. So we've done that. So I hope that you guys like it. It was a highly voted item on the feature suggestion. A little update, which I will tell you guys, I know that several of you use the transaction summary, and the updates don't stay in the transaction summary. So just so you know, the team's looking at that. Hopefully we'll have an update on that in the next week or so. But it will also mirror the transaction summary at some point here in the future. But great idea, and I think it helps a lot of you so you can see all the different changes of commission. We know that commissions change for several different reasons with circumstances. Having that history is extremely important. As you guys know, we implemented global search for DigiSign. We're also improving that as well. We found where we think we can get a better return rate for some of the larger brokerages. We find that you have a lot of names of agents and street numbers and street names. But what we also did is we added in DigiSign portion. If you go to which DigiSign, it was utilizing the old search. So now that's in the new DigiSign. A lot of people wanted First American home warranty on the application, as you know. Or whether you know or don't know, you can order home warranties. If you're in California, you can order natural hazard reports. It's very easy. We have all the players on there. One, if you have a player that you don't see on there that you want, shoot me an email. You guys all got an email from me on the invite to here, so you can reply back and say, hey, I'd like to see X, Y, and Z. I'll pass it over to our VP of partnerships and his division, and that's who's handling all of the partnerships that we're enabling. Furthermore, it's just an easier process. We keep seeing more and more people take advantage of it. It saves them a lot of time, and it's just very, very quick. And so it's a simple 3-step section. You click the home warranty that you want. It adds up the numbers for any home warranty company. It orders it. Our turnaround time is even getting faster. And I think within the same day turnaround time for ordering it and placing the order, and then also putting it back into SkySlope. And so we did that. Also, we extended the home warranty offering in Texas. What we found is everyone said we want the home warranty and we want to add these services in. The challenge is every single state is different. And so it makes it a little bit challenging on our side because we can't just be a one and done and release it to everybody. We have to normalize it per the state. And so we just extended the home warranty to Texas. So Texas now can do that. Furthermore, we will start to have a rollout schedule starting next year of where we believe we'll be going next for home warranty and other providers. Further, in California, a lot of you wanted geo insurance, so we added that as an NHD. If you're not in California, it's just a natural hazard disclosure, which is required on all the properties. We added geo insurance for a lot of you asked for it, so we did that. What we've released seems light because I wanted to save a lot of time for the forms. As you guys know, I announced, I believe in Q1, that we've been working on forms. We started forms. We don't have a rollout schedule yet. What I can tell you is Arizona is the first state we will be in. Starting next year, what we'll do is we'll actually have a rollout schedule of where we're going and who is going to demonstrate our forms for you guys and where we're currently at. Is Ryan Bishop. Ryan's been at the company for 8 years, like I said prior. A lot of you probably remember his name because he launched a lot of your accounts. He's been started in the 3rd bedroom at my house when we started SkySlope, all the way to the strip mall, all the way to our old office 1210G, to our new office here on K Street. So not only does he know the product very well, he understands agents, he understands brokers, he understands technology, and most importantly, he is like married to forms. And so instead of me making foot faults and explaining forms, which I think I could probably explain it pretty well, I figured why not have Ryan come and show it. It's his baby. A lot of you have been part of the beta, so I want to thank you first and foremost. You guys have been part of the beta. You know, our goal is to make sure that you have a product that's fully integrated. that works well. And remember, one of the biggest things that we want to do is we want things to happen automatically in the system. And so we've taken what we think is all of your guys' advice, our thoughts on how we believe forms should be, and we created our first version of it. Ryan's going to go over it with you. We're not done with forms yet, so this isn't a fully baked version yet. But I figured, why not show you guys? I gave you guys a glimpse of a prototype that we had, I believe, on the last Fireside chat. But I wanted to show you what it currently is today. And I'm going to let Ryan come up here, and Ryan can come sit over here and demonstrate it, and also go through some of the benefits and some of the learnings and findings that we had. So say hi, Ryan. We're on this camera here. Just so you know, I'm going to move this over to you.
Thank you.
And if you guys have questions, ask them. Let me just get you set up here. So
that one.
See, he already knows more. All right, go ahead.
Tabs, right?
Yeah.
All right, everybody. So just a little bit of transparency. You guys are going to be the first to see this. This is the live code. So thank you, like Tyler said, to our beta partners. I'm sure some of you are on here for really helping us give feedback and really help us build this product. So I'm going to walk you through it. This is the dashboard page. So we want to add to this, give more transparency to the agent on their file. But mostly what you see here are lists of my pre-listing and pre-contract files. So pre-listing being that agent out there writing a listing agreement, preparing it, printing it out, going to the seller's house and doing their presentation. And then pre-contract being the purchase contract, the buyer broker agreement. So we're going to go through a quick example, and we're going to click on create.
And one of the things real quick I'm going to say is everything will be fully branded towards your brokerage. Not only that, it'll be tied into SkySlope. You'll see that this isn't really tied into SkySlope. You're kind of looking going, where's SkySlope? How's it work? They'll be tied in. We just specifically wanted to focus on the forms portion and show you what the forms portion of this would look like.
Yeah, our main goal is letting you get access to all of your documents. So like Tyler said, Arizona's first up. We've already got all the documents from AAR, and all your MLS boards are already integrated. So we'll be able to show that in here. So I'm going to click on create, and this would be, again, like filling out the purchase offer, writing that first agreement that you're going to go to your client.
So this is like we just met. I said, I love the property, and you go back to your house, you get a beer, a glass of wine as a realtor, and you start to write the contract, and this is what you would do.
Yep.
And it will work on mobile, it'll work on web, iPad, the whole deal.
Yep, great. Absolutely. And this screen here is where we start putting the address. And as you saw earlier, we have over 200 MLS boards, so that will pull in here. Obviously, when you're writing an offer, you want to pre-fill your contract with all the data, and you don't have to rekey that. Our goal is to eliminate all that duplicate entry the agent has to type in over and over in SkySlope and in other systems. We're going to streamline all of that so it's all integrated. So in here, for example, we have a Google address, but again, this will search MLS and populate the contract for them. So I'll just select a property, and it will fill in the details, and then click on create pre-contract. And so in this case, right here on the page, you can see I've already have a template included, which includes my purchase contract and my buyer broker agreement. And you can customize templates, set them up for your agent so that they can automatically add them to their files. They're not going through the library and adding them. Of course, there are other documents they need to add depending on if it's an HOA or other situations. So we'll be able to add to the library too. For this example, we're just going to stick to the basic template. Right here, you have what is called file details. This is like the fast fill. So you have some agents just want to be able to see what's important, what they need to fill out on their contract. So in here, the important details for writing an offer are included. So let's just say the acceptance date is today, and we have a closing date. We'll just say it's a month out and add that in. So all of this data is going to automatically populate across all the documents that have that. So they don't have to retype the acceptance date and closing date on any other documents. And as we said earlier, MLS will also pull in, so you'll have all of your details from the property autofill here too. Down here, you can see we have other fields, so we can put in a purchase price, and we can add commission amounts. For this case, I won't add those. And then down here, we can add contacts. So in this case, let's just say Tyler is going to be my buyer here. I'm going to add in his email, and we'll say he's a buyer. This here, the role, make sure that we put it on the right spot in the contract. So if you add all of your contacts here, it's going to fill all the places on the purchase contract. Like we said, we had all the Arizona documents, and we're sort of mapping all these fields to that.
Yep. So one of the other things that we're working on here, and you can go ahead here, Ryan, is, and he's just going to send this off. Actually, go through this. I'll talk about DigiSign when it gets to that.
Yeah. So here, now we fill it out. We know some agents just want to fill out their purchase contract. They just want to see the document. They just want to fill in the little details they have, so they can click on purchase contract. And this will, like we said earlier, populate all of the data. So here's the first page. I can check certain boxes. And then down here, you can see the buyer's name. Tyler's already on there. I can add in a second one here if I'd like to. I've got my purchase price and go on and forward and fill out the document. So if I want to say it's going to, the earnest money is going to be a personal check, I can add my other addendums. And so they go through and normally fill this out. And then when they're ready, box is there, they're going to click on send for signature. And then here, they're going to be able to actually add new signers, change the order, and this is where we have our DigiSign 3.
Right, and so DigiSign 3 is something we've been working on for the better part of this entire year. The number one feature suggestion is like, hey, we love your digital signature, but these are a couple of different things we'd want to see. And there's several different pieces of advice. What we said was, not only are we building DigiSign right now, a brand new one, but we were going to take a lot of the feedback and implement it in DigiSign 3. So DigiSign 3 is actually within what you're seeing today. So Ryan's going to go through and show you a portion of it, but it's all working in the background. This is not our current digital signature. This is our actual DigiSign 3 that's not inside of SkySlope yet. It will get into SkySlope and we'll replace the current digital signature with this new one, which we think will be more robust. It'll have all the features that you guys are asking through. You can do strike throughs, every pretty much single thing that you asked for. We have implemented in D3, which we're calling DigiSign 3. It'll also have a fully capable API, which we can tap into. So there's several different value points, and it'll also put into our new app, our mobile app, which I'll talk about a little bit here moving forward when we're done with this demo.
Yep, and one thing I'm really excited about with DigiSign 3 is that when we're partnered now with the association, all of your templates will be automatically created.
Yeah, so right now a lot of you are creating, either account manager's creating a template within DigiSign, you're creating templates within DigiSign, you're sharing with your agents, or what you're doing is you are, you're starting and doing all these templates together. And so what's great is they're going to be fully embedded and already done, and we'll also control them too, so agents don't change them or mess with them. They can create their own, but we'll have your association ones as well.
Should get the email in here.
Go to,
I
saw it.
You have all your folders. There we go. Now it's on there. All right, so this is the new DigiSign 3.
Yep.
So like Tyler said, branded. We have the DigiSign logo in there right now, but you'll be able to review the documents. So right in this case, I am the buyer. I've just received the email from my agent and I'm ready to sign the offer. If you notice in the forms product, we didn't have to drag any blocks, any signatures. I'll be able to just go ahead and click one button and send it out for signatures. So now as the buyer, we have the agreement, which is at the beginning, just to agree to e-sign consumer disclosure. So I'll click I agree. And then you can see the document is now filled out. So we've got check boxes on there. We've got the buyer's name and all the information that I had typed in. And when they're ready to sign, they're going to click on the first block and we'll pop this up and I'll be able to type in my name. So we'll just say we're still Tyler Smith here. We'll use that signature and then we'll be able to go through and sign the document.
And so as you go through and sign, what are some of the benefits that they'll get with forms? Like why Sky Forms? Why the SkySlope Forms product? What's the value prop on getting them to change over? And I know some, but I'm asking you, the ringleader here.
Well, as I've been at SkySlope a long time and I've helped a lot of agents with DigiSign, and especially adding all the blocks and knowing where to put them. And some of the tasks that they do are really repetitive. So they have to do the same thing on every transaction. We should know certain things by now on a real estate transaction. If it's built before 1978, you need a lead-based payment disclosure. And it needs to be initialed on the right spot. So we want to build in some of that automation and really create that self-driving transaction. So all their tasks are automatically pre-populated and we get all the data there to facilitate the rest of the transaction. For me, that's the most exciting thing.
Yeah. Also, I think a really big benefit is, and we'll show you, is agents write offers all the time. You know, how great would it be to be able to use the data to educate and help your agent? You know, if I'm a broker, or an admin or someone working in a back office, to help agents think about, say, hey, you're writing on, it takes you 6 offers to get one accepted, and you can normalize that within a specific market. That'd be great to know that data. Not only that, once they fill out that form, we can automatically create the listing or transaction on the behalf of the agent within SkySlope. You as a broker, you have all the compliance, you're saving those pre-contract documents, and in the event there was some litigation, there's several big benefits of having everything in one place. And we're just getting started with it. And so I'll let Ryan finish here.
Yep, so we just click finish signing. What will happen after this is you'll get an email. It'll say finish signing. All parties will get a copy of the document like you expect DigiSign to do. And then inside forms, what we'll see is eventually we'll see the pending status update to signed.
Yep.
And then once the agent's ready, so today, if you're using a forms product, the agent then has to take all that data and then add it to SkySlope.
Yep.
And in this case, they'll be able to click one button and it will automatically send it all to compliance review. So their checklist will populate with all the documents. They'll already be split up and it'll all go into SkySlope.
Yep. So you can see here now it's signed. So you can see the status it's signed. I can share it. You'll also see if you go back to the dashboard. I don't know if this is going to take me back to the dashboard, Ryan. Is it?
No.
How do you pick that up? Yeah. How do you get back to the dashboard?
Sure.
What's great is when they go back to their dashboard, they'll actually be able to create the transaction based upon the data right there. So you can click create transaction. It'll take all the data from the forms. It'll automatically create it in SkySlope. So it's automating the entire process. Forms is going to be released sometime in Q1, right? Early January, hopefully.
So we have a few beta partners already in Arizona that are helping us build this out. They're going to be the first adopters. And then in Q1, we can start adding more users to it.
Great. And then what we'll also do is in Q1 in January, our goal is to have a full-on release, statewide release on who we're releasing to next. So you guys will be very aware. We also have a form sign-up page, which maybe we'll send out after this. I don't know where it's at, but we'll send it out. If you want to get on beta, Ryan would love to talk with you, get you on first. There's a lot of value prop in doing this. Specifically, I think about it as compliance. When I was a realtor and I ran a brokerage, making sure I had all these documents for compliance was huge. It's really important. That's why a lot of people come to us in the beginning. And so there's a lot of compliance features. There's a lot of data analytics features. And what also is great is a lot of you brokers and a lot of you folks have your own specific forms, right? You have your affiliate business disclosure or whatever document it is. Our goal is let's take those and let's normalize them. We're not going to be charging for that. It's something we're going to implement for you guys. We're going to put all of your broker forms in here as well. So it's a great way for you to have everything in one spot, cohesive, fully operated and organized by you, the broker, and or your back office. Anything else I missed on forms?
No, I think that last piece really covered it. So when we talk to a lot of agents, we do a lot of testing and research, just figuring out what the pain points are with forms. They've been using the same products for years and years and years, so they're really used to it. And one of the big issues is they always forget certain forms. They don't get their compliance checklist, so they get into SkySlope, so they don't actually know what's required, and they don't know to get those broker forms. And the broker forms are in an intranet or on a folder, and they don't ever add them. So having it all in one place and all in the compliance tool means they'll never miss anything.
Great. If they want to know more about forms, who should they contact?
So you'll receive an email after this, and it will have a link to the sign up page. You can sign up, put what state you're in, and we'll reach out and give you more information on when rollout is. We're definitely looking for just more beta partners in other states just to understand each state we know is a little bit different. Yeah. So more information, we're really building it with our customers. So
great. Yeah, and it still sticks to where we are. This product originally was built by me for me, and now it's really built by our engineering team and our product team and our company here, but it's really in the mindset of a broker, on the mindset of an agent. And so we obsess over you, our customer. Our goal is to take as much information as we can for you folks and then invent on your behalf and hopefully, surprise and delight you with a beautiful product. With that said, thanks, Ryan. All right, thanks. All right, so let's switch back here to the Fireside chat. Let me just, looks like it signed me out. I need to log in real quick. Stop sharing your screen.
Yep.
All right. Share, entire screen. I think we're back. Yep, perfect.
Good.
All right. So going back, hopefully you guys like forums. We're open to questions. What I wanted to do is kind of show our next 12-month roadmap. Obviously, we're in forums beta right now. Again, if you need help with that or you want to get on that or have additional questions, we're open to those. Adding Sky to transactions. So as you guys know, we added Sky to listings and it's gotten better over time. Our goal is to take everything we learned on Sky for listings and apply to transactions in a way where we think it can be faster, we can automate more, and we can help a lot of agents onboarding as well. And so you'll see that roll out. We have some folks already that we've spoken to that have given us a lot of input based upon our prototype that we built. And we plan on having that out sometime early next year. Obviously, the forms launch in Arizona is going to be huge. We'll be launching that hopefully in January sometime, but definitely for Q1 we'll have that. We'll be quickly expanding to additional states. We've already gotten a lot of different states that are on board. We've already gotten their forms. We're already digitizing them. We're just starting with Arizona. Once we actually have all the forms, what we'll do is we'll actually give you a full rollout schedule, like I said. DigiSign 3.0 is something that we've spent a lot of resources, a lot of time and energy on. I think it's going to completely change how SkySlope interacts and works. Where you can get things signed. We know that a lot of you say, I just want to sign that document on the checklist as a broker and admin. Great, you'll be able to do that. I just want to be able to sign on my phone. Great, you'll be able to do that. I want to be able to, take a document and not have it go into 3 or 4 other steps to get it signed, which works and it's great and you use it, but it just happens automatically. And DigiSign 3.0 is going to be great. It's already in a lot of different production items today being used. We just haven't exposed it to the SkySlope app just yet. A big initiative is that we're going to enhance the mobile app, obviously with DigiSign, obviously with forms, but most importantly, just to give you as a broker, your agent, a tool that they can use on the go. So we're always looking to enhance that, and our goal is to enhance it as much as possible. And then the big item that we're working on that we're focused on, which I'm really excited about, is the consumer portal. It allows for us to help your agents stay connected to the customer forever in this world where they're busy and they're not following up after the sale, and how do they provide as much value? Things like changing their address to changing their driver's license on where it goes, their mail, all these types of things that happen after the sale. And our goal is how do we put the agent at the center of that and connect them with the consumer, their buyer, their seller, so they have that client for life. And so I'm real excited about that. We'll be talking a lot about that towards the end of the year. Because at the end of next year, that's when we think we'll have something for you guys. It'll be a very clear picture of how our system is a full all-in-one application, really from when you shake hands with someone for a client for life. With that said, I think that's it. Feature suggestions, I think we've talked about that. Make sure if you have any suggestions, you want to see something out, we spend a lot of time in this. I can't stress it enough. If you have an idea or if you want to see something change, this is the place to put it. And once it's in there, get everyone in your organization to vote it up. It gets shared out with other brokers, other admins, other back office folks. Agents, TCs, everyone, I encourage you to put things in here. This is literally how we build our roadmap. We build our roadmap based upon our big items, all the way down to the small items of even moving a button over to the left because it's just easier. I mean, we want to know this stuff, we want input. And you'll see me in there replying, you'll see our product VP of product Buck in there, you'll see Ryan in there. I mean, everyone in product is fully engaged in this. This is literally how we run our roadmap, whether it be a big item like forms all the way to a small item like, adding an in-house selling broker. So with that said, I don't know if you have any questions, Janae.
I do.
Okay.
All right, let's start with a question around global search. The universal search is a great feature, but are there any plans to sort these results by status, i.e. pending results show first, then canceled, then archived? It's a little bit confusing.
Yeah, so our initial, so we plan on enhancing global search 100%. Our initial reasoning for doing this was a lot of the brokers got more and more files, the search didn't work. And a lot of people say, well, no, it worked fine for me, but you guys knew the workaround in your head of what you had to type. If it was called Janae Street, you type in JA and you would wait, and it worked, but it didn't work. I wouldn't say it was intuitive. And unfortunately, that was the crutch that we gave you, and you guys are power users, so you're in it. If you want to be part of that, shoot back a reply, email. If you want to be part of how we actually enhance that, they're doing enhancements. It's going to the roadmap. Our goal is to make sure that search works, and also even have like a search results page, where you can actually sort with what you want. You guys have my email, reply back. I'll forward on our VP of product. Help make sure you're on those calls when we're doing it, because we want your feedback. We want search to be great, but absolutely we have a lot of plans and resources towards we're putting towards search.
Awesome. Will there ever be guest access to transactions?
Guest access as far as what? Co-op agents or consumers?
They did not specify on this, so if you are listening still.
Yeah, we can skip it and come back to it.
Perfect.
Yeah, we're open to it. If there's a guest access that you want, whether that be, I don't know, a TC, I'm assuming, or maybe a cooperating broker or agent, or maybe
Like an attorney?
A consumer. I think that's a great idea. I would definitely encourage you to go into the feature suggestions, put it there and be clear on what it is, and we'll have an account manager and or a product specialist reach out to you and make sure that we understand what it is. But yeah, I think that makes sense. How do you bring everybody into this transaction so they can collaborate, so they can utilize it, and they can be transparent on what's happening.
Exactly. Thomas clarified and said buyers and sellers specifically.
Yeah, no, there's definitely 100%. We already have that in the roadmap. That's part of the consumer portal. So yeah, 100% that'll be available. When you think about it, I think we have access to these documents and we have access to these things. Why would we not give a vault to a consumer? Why would we not allow them to come in? And so when we think about that, how do we actually provide a way where they can see a timeline of what's happening, right? Where they are within the transaction. Not only that, there's several things they're going to need to access. Their home warranty information that they're going to need down the road. Their HUD-1 for tax purposes. Maybe just need to, get an HOA doc that's in there. And so there's absolutely ways to do that. We currently have a way to share a link. So right now you can currently share a link that's shareable to the consumer or anyone you want. And so what it is, if you want information on that, go to support. They'll tell you. It literally, you select the document you want, you click share. It gives you a link. You give that to your client. Your client can use that to access the documents at any time. It also will put in a log anytime that client actually accesses the document. I would call this a light version of inviting in or sharing. The true experience comes when we actually have the true consumer portal built out.
Awesome. Moving more into the forms questions.
Yes.
On the demo, it looks like we needed quite a bit of information. Can you start with just the buyer's name and no address? What about starting without an acceptance date?
Yeah, those items weren't required. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan. I have Ryan sitting right here. None of those items are required. So you could have gone, I'm not sharing anymore, but you could have gone right to the document. Nothing's required at all, I don't believe. We just take the address to populate and search MLS, but if you don't want to do that, you want to just go right to the form, you're more than welcome to do that. Great question.
Awesome. Will forms be receiving an app in DigiSign 3.0, receiving an app?
Yeah, so Forms is being built where we can utilize the APIs as well as DigiSign. The goal is that you can do everything on mobile. Everything's mobile first these days. We all use our mobile. It'll be mobilized where you can use it on your mobile day one. And I've actually looked at it. I have a pretty big, Ryan will tell you, I usually will do my demos only on mobile just because that's how I would use it. But absolutely, both of those will have whether it's in SkySlope or their own app, we don't know, they'll be separate, but they'll have an app functionality for sure.
Awesome.
Mobile app, yeah.
Will we be able to create data templates for the forms so that we can have our information, any data that we always apply to every contract, auto-populate, such as brokerage information, etc.?
Yeah, that'll be done through the templates. So when you think about templates, we have two types of templates. We have the document templates. I want a purchase agreement. I want a buyer's advisory form. I want an affiliated business disclosure. Those are document templates. Then you have data templates. I always want the close of escrow to be 30 days, or I always want it to show my broker name, or I always want it to put me and my buyer's agent on the contract because we're a team. So there's data templates and there's document templates. We will have both, correct, Ryan?
Yes.
Perfect. You just give me the nod. So.
Perfect. For broker created forms, how will those be maintained within SkySlope? Will we have to update those, or will SkySlope maintain those?
So good question. Most likely we'll be maintaining those for you. We'll have a queue. We haven't pushed that process out yet. The vision is, hey, I have a form. I want it digitized. I want it available, or I have a form that needs to be updated. You guys know how easy support is. As you guys know, our support is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365. They're always available. Our goal is how do we build something in our back end so our support can easily do it for you. Now, we're not there yet, and support's probably watching this going, what are we doing with forms? But that's what it is right now. Ryan and his team are doing that. Obviously, we're just in Arizona. We'll work with some of the brokers as well. But our vision is you'll have somewhere in SkySlope on a broker side, you can say, upload my forms. It'll tell you how long it'll take to process. I think we'll have a pretty fast turnaround time. I've watched Ryan do this himself. and it's pretty quick. And so I think once we have a streamlined system to train our support reps, our customer support team on it, I think it'll happen pretty quickly. We have a queue system already. We just have to make sure they're trained on it, but we don't have all the details on that yet, but I can tell you that's the vision. We want it to be very fast, very efficient, no wait time, depending on how big and how complex the form is.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We have another question around the MLS.
Yes.
When I type in the MLS number into the MLS search button, it pulls from another location. How do we work around that?
You probably know more context on that. What's
Sure.
the other location where you refer?
So, Brandy, what we need to do is just don't use the MLS search button. Use the Google search when you're entering in the address, because that's the unique identifier. So you don't want to use that MLS search button moving forward.
Yeah, so maybe we can get Brandy's email and you can follow up with her. So, and I'm assuming we're talking about transaction, not listings, right?
Most likely.
Yeah, so right now what we're doing is, it's a little bit backwards if we're being honest, but we have MLS with the 200 plus boards fully integrated on Sky for listings, and then we have our existing MLS database pulling from transactions. They both have the same data, but I would argue that the better data set is from the MLS in Sky, the listing side. When we go to Sky for transactions, I believe what you're asking for will be completely different. That'll just be removed and it'll work the way it's intended. But a lot of folks will bypass that screen that pops down on transactions, and then they'll type in the MLS, and that screen that pops down for the Google type ahead is really where we validate the MLS. And so I would challenge you to put it there first, or invite you to put it there first, because that will actually pull the MLS opposed to doing it on the input sheet, which hopefully that makes sense. And am I accurate on that?
Yep.
Perfect.
Exactly. Awesome. There's a few questions coming through just asking for clarification around the 2020 form availability as well as the communication. How will companies know when forms are coming in their states?
Great question. We're not sharing anymore, but so right now what Ryan and his team have done is, I don't know when this goes out next week, the login page.
Today.
Oh, today. So today, when agents come into the platform, what we'll do is we'll utilize and see, okay, do they have a property in Arizona? Where are they located? And the next time they come in and log in, or go to our homepage, they'll see, hey, forms are coming, sign up or sign up in beta. Here's information. It'll have video. It'll have still images. It'll have information on how it works. And as we roll out new states, that'll happen. So we have location-based services on our app where we know where the agent is located based upon their properties and their state and their MLS board and association license. We'll be dripping it out. Furthermore, as far as when we'll roll out the rest of the states, we won't have that most likely until early next year, probably January, first or second week. My goal is to deliver you guys our top 10 states we're going into by the next time we do our Fireside chat, which will probably be in January. But we'll have more clarity on the additional states. What we're doing is we're going based upon the state the majority of our users are in. And it's a pretty quick process, right? As far as digitizing them. As you can imagine, the process of getting the forms is the hardest process. A lot of these boards are old school. They don't have an understanding of how even they get us the forms. You should see sometimes they send us the forms and they're upside down. It's just, we've seen a lot of different things. We already have several states that we've already signed on, that we already are digitizing their forms. Arizona's first. I will tell you, my goal is to have by the next time we all meet after the holidays is to have our top 10 and then a roadmap of the additional ones we're going into. And not only that, we base it upon the majority of our users as well that we can get form access to. Yeah.
So, another forms question.
Yep.
Will a transaction coordinator be able to emulate an agent and assist with their form creation?
That's a good question.
It depends on the licensing. So can you hear me? Basically, the state association only lets us authenticate an agent. So which is probably why they're logging in today as agents and not logging into their own account. However, if the state allows us to authenticate a TC on behalf of an agent, then we will allow that. So we still have to figure that out. Each state is different with how they allow TCs to operate.
Yeah.
So we'll touch base with you what state you're in. We'll get the question and I'll check in with you to see what you imagine for that.
Yeah. Cool.
Will staff ever have the ability to bypass Sky to go directly to the input pages? Most are power users, and rather than clicking through Sky, they prefer to tab through the fields.
Yeah, so I think we're actually going to do a user focus group. I replied, and also Buck replied a little bit to some of you inside of the recent feature suggestions that came. I think a lot of power users will say that. We actually did a test side by side, and we have data to show as well that it actually is slower tabbing through. And so what I can do, here's what I'm willing to do is to have you guys, and we can do a session where we can have you guys come onto a viewing or a screen like this. We can share screens that we can watch and go back. There's a way where we can enable the existing side, but before we would do that, we'd want to watch and see it. It's been so long since you've probably even looked at it, and we've enhanced a lot. My gut is telling me that we're missing something in Sky that you have to go back and update that is slowing you down. And so if that's the case, how can we put that in Sky? Because that's going to be the vision of where we're going. We're only filling and putting in more and more data into those fields to help eliminate that, where you have to click next. I did just see in the feature suggestions prior to this call, I was looking at them, and I did see that someone said you have to actually click to type in the data, which is not the intention. So I don't know if that's just something on our side, something on the computer side, but when we built out Sky, it was you can type and click enter, you can type and click enter, you can type and click enter. If the data's in there, you can just click enter if it's accurate. If that's not happening, that's something that what I'll do is I'll have product look into. Maybe it's a bug, maybe it's something within your system, maybe we've got something wrong, I'm not sure, but Sky's number one intention is to be much faster. And if it's not, that's important that we understand why and know why. So if you get her information, what we'll do is we'll follow back up with that.
Awesome. Another question around forms. Many of our agents have to pay their annual renewals through their associations. When forms become available, will the forms be included in their SkySlope fee, or is there additional fees? Do we know? Yeah,
no, we have no plans on and no intention on charging for SkySlope forms. I think we've never raised our prices here at SkySlope. We've never charged as we build on additional services and improved our application. The same thing goes along with forms. Our goal is to provide these forms to your agents. Our goal is to create a self-driving transaction where everything can automate for the agent, making their life a lot easier. And we want the most adoption. That's our biggest key. We did over 3 million envelopes last year with DigiSign. We're building D3. We want to integrate digital signature into our forms. It's a product that we plan on just providing as a service that we offer here at SkySlope to you and the agents.
Great. That's actually all of our questions.
Cool. Well, I thank all of you for coming and showing up. What we'll do is if there's additional questions, we'll go through them. We'll reply back and email you guys as we always do. We'll also email you. I don't know if we email a link to this or something. We'll do that. So if your broker or your admin couldn't make it, we'll email. And then besides that, I hope you have a great Halloween tomorrow. I hope you have a great Q4. We won't be talking until next year. With that said, thank you all for showing up and your support. We value it. Thanks.